Andrew, it's Saturday afternoon again.
What's happening, Jimmy?
Oh, mate, yeah, good. Yeah, mate, fantastic. What another brilliant day of results across our territory and across our zone. And first things first, apologies that we didn't do a update this time last week because, Andrew, we were extremely busy, but then you had a special event on last weekend and we couldn't get together, which was the baptism of your beautiful little baby girl, Isla Grace. And congratulations on that, my friend.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, Saturday was, mate, we didn't get home till quite late on Saturday. And Sunday, we thought we'd catch up in the morning, but obviously got caught up and had the christening of Isla Grace, and that was a beautiful day. And also had celebrated the first birthday, which wasn't until the 23rd of June, but we had a few friends over and whatnot. So apologies, everyone. But we are here and we've had a great week and a great day as well.
And it was also your birthday too. So shout out to you, mate. Happy birthday to your beautiful daughter. Happy birthday to you. And of course, once again, congratulations on her baptism. But yes,
thank you very much.
We've had a great day, Andrew. We've had a busy week and coming out of our 2-week lockdown where we had a lot of concerned vendors and a lot of concerned clients who didn't know how things were going to go. We fast-tracked a number of auctions in the first week. We've already spoken about that. Last Saturday, just a quick wrap for people to know, we only did 2 auctions, which was 4 Avonham Court in Hillside that sold really well for $630,000 to a young first home buyer that's been looking for a long time, young Nicholas. He secured Avonham Court, which was great. And then you conducted 11 Inverell Street in Burnside Heights, which set a new record for a house of that size on that size land, Andrew.
Yeah, Jim, that was an extremely good auction. Look, during the course of the campaign, we had a few buyers that loved that home, and particularly because of the school zone, Corey Creek Primary School, tongue twister there. And again, look, a home that was being well presented by vendors. Again, first class location, first class home. Had 11 registered bidders on that one there, and that sold for $905,000, as you said. So a cracker result out there as well.
Yeah, great result. And then we had a strong activity during the week. We had some good results of some properties negotiated privately during the week. We'll touch on that. Actually, let's mention them now. Andrew, 68 Wattle Valley Drive got negotiated and sold. Sash did a great job there. And he also negotiated and sold 38 Salamander Drive privately. And I'll tell you what, it should have been auctioned because it dragged out over a few days with a number of buyers and bidders and backwards and forwards and trying to give everybody an opportunity. And that one is sold now, still subject to cooling off period, so we won't disclose prices. All we can say is that it was certainly above expectations. Currently under offer are still a few properties. One that's just gone under offer now, 2 of 17 in Yates Drive, and also 10 Danthonia Street in Delahaye, Andrew, are also under negotiation. But we move into today, and our group had 7 auctions scheduled today. If I can, a bit of a wrap, Andrew, first, and then you can talk about the auctions today. But we had 2 that sold before, property at 31 Leicester Avenue, another one at 24 Tasman Avenue in Deer Park, both sold before. 2 really good auctions today by our team at St Albans, 3 of 21 Leicester Street in St Albans, a unit selling strongly under competition, 473,500, and another one at number 4 Chestnut Drive in St Albans was also sold under the hammer, sold very, very well. Vendors have asked for price to be undisclosed, so unless you were there, you won't know what it got. And then we had Lass had a property at number 12 Giverny Street in Burnside Heights, a townhouse, Andrew, that was a private sale, had almost 150 groups through in 10 days. And so we decided on Monday or Tuesday, I think it was, after it had been on the market for a week and a half, it's best to auction it. There were just too many buyers through, too much interest. So the most transparent and fairest way to do it was to auction it, consulted with the vendors, converted it to an auction today, and that sold for an astonishing $638,000, which was a brilliant outcome, and well done to Lass and Ashley and Cinzia out there doing a fantastic job. And then we moved on to the two auctions that you called today, Andrew. The first one was 16 Caledonian Crescent in Hillside, and wowee. Why don't you tell us about it?
Jim, shout out to Mira and Frank, our vendors out there. Frank's probably watching this, so good job, Frank. Jim, that home, the way they presented their home during the course of the campaign, Frank was out there with a vacuum on his synthetic turf, getting all the leaves out, right? So their house was neat as a pin. We had, a couple of strong registered bidders, that really loved that home for many reasons. Good sized block. Caledonian Street Hillside is on a beautiful tree-lined street. Great neighbours. Over 750 square meters of land as well. Had side access, 4 bedrooms. So there's many reasons why people would love this home. But we had an opening bid there at 750, and then basically fierce competition right up to 940,000. So so we announced on the market 870,000. Then as soon as we announced on the market, again, strong competition, and sold really, really well. But it's a beautiful home. So well done to the buyers, Joanne, that purchased that property for the family, and to Frank and Mira, thank you very much for their assistance and the trust as well. So good result. Yeah,
great result. And then straight after that one, Andrew, you went around and this was probably one of the longest auctions that I've seen you do. It went for I said 45 minutes, but looking back at the video, it was 43 minutes that it went through. Property at 101 Wattle Valley Drive in your favourite estate in Hillside. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, Jim. Look, again, Mila, our vendor. So the story is that she's gone to Brisbane. Mila lost her husband a few years ago, unfortunately, and her daughter and son-in-law have decided to move up to Brisbane. That's where they're originally from. So they've done that, and Mila obviously was time to sell her home as well. And she was a bit nervous, as everyone is, I suppose, but she's a little bit elderly. So the real estate barrier kind of trust there, is a bit different. Old school way of real estate agents, I suppose. But I said to her, listen, you'll be okay and whatnot. And we went out to call that auction. We had 5-6 registered bidders on that property there, and we had 72 bids on that property 43 minutes later. So, I took a bit of time there, purely and simply because a couple of buyers, they knew they stretched themselves. They had to for this home. So I took a bit of time just to make sure that they were sure and that we were sure, as we always say. And as I said, 72 bids, 43 minutes later, selling for $789,500. So a really strong result there.
Great outcome, and well done. You called a great auction. I was actually watching that one remotely because Georgie and I, we had some really good friends who had their property up for sale today, and I've been helping them through their marketing campaign. The minute they went online, COVID lockdown 4 hit, they were panicking, they were concerned. And a property in East Hawthorn. Shout out to the team at Marshall White at East Hawthorn that managed the campaign. I watched David Lettieri do the auction there today, and I've got to tell you, I was very impressed. I'm pretty critical, Andrew, as you know, of auctioneers. And, my wife actually said, he's good. He is very, very good. And he did an amazing job. The property was passed in. The vendors were texting me on the phone. I'm outside trying to give them advice. I'd spoken to the agent and to them all the way through the campaign because they're very close friends. We're actually neighbours down the beach as well, and we've grown up together. So I've known these people my whole life, and it was really interesting to get the perception firsthand of how a vendor thinks, right?
Yeah,
we're acutely aware of, and we talk about it all the time. But listening to them and being on the phone to them almost every night this week to try to guide them through the process, because they passed it in. They actually passed it in today at auction, and you could see the not devastation. They weren't devastated, but they were really concerned, right? Because they really want to sell their home. But to the agent's credit, they did an amazing job, got the buyer inside, negotiated with the highest bidder. Shows you here's the thing that's really interesting. They negotiated with the highest bidder, didn't get to the point of a sale because the highest bidder thought, I'm the only one here, I'm going to dig my heels in. And so when they dug their heels in, there was another buyer at this particular property, Andrew, that did not place a bid. And I thought to myself afterwards, why would he do that and risk losing it when he really wanted to buy it? And the only reason that he got a second bite at the cherry was that the highest bidder, after being inside the house for 20 minutes, wouldn't budge, was playing hardball. Well, guess what? The other guy paid $275,000 more, right? And bought the property 15 minutes later. And so anyway, the moral of the story is, we always say to people, make sure you're holding the highest bid. It'll give you the first chance to buy it. That's true. But if you're going to dig your heels in and not want to negotiate, you're not going to buy the damn thing. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened today. Funnily enough, the guy that ultimately bought it was not a house buyer. He was an investor. And, very shrewd, very smart, owns a lot of property around East Hawthorn and Malvern and Toorak. And, he knows his stuff. This guy was waiting to pounce. And because he's not emotional, he didn't bid. He thought, I'll take my chances, right? Because whether he bought it or whether he didn't wasn't going to change his life. The home buyers, guess what they're going to have to do, the ones that missed out? They're going to go and have to join the queue and be sitting on realestate.com.au and going through opens. And next time they find a house, I promise you they're going to end up spending more money than what their budget was. So, and the reason that I'm saying the story is so that people understand that no point digging your heels in, because these people had every chance to buy the property. They got blown away by it wasn't even an underbidder, by someone that was there watching, waiting to pounce should it not get sold. And that's what happened.
Well, the funny thing is, Jim, that's happened to us as well. I think if we go back a few weeks ago, even one in Sydenham, the same thing. We passed it in. You're 10 grand away, right? The buyer digs his heels in, and you think about for 10 grand, even if you think the vendors want a bit more than what you believe, you just buy it in this market, right? Exactly. And then obviously on Monday night, we sold it for 20 grand more. So, at the end of the day, it's actually a really good story to tell, because even though at the moment, most of our properties are selling at auction under the hammer, sometimes we will pass property in and we tell the buyer, say, guys, whether or not you buy the home or not, it's not for us. Our vendors want to sell it. You're not that far away. So at the end of the day, you want to buy the home, you're going to be here for a long, long time. What's the difference between paying extra 10, 15, 20 grand today, So
yeah, exactly.
We try to explain it to them, but I think this story is fantastic for people to hear and actually understand what can happen as well.
Yeah, exactly. So once again, a shout out to the team over there that did a good job, and to my friends Tony and Venetia that got the result that they wanted and got their house sold. Now, the important thing, Andrew, Nadine, who runs our business and runs our back end, a shout out to Nadine, who's done an exceptional job, because she said to me yesterday in the office, she said, do you know how many properties we've put online in the last 10 days? I said, not really. That's your job. I don't keep a tab on them, but I do. I look at the end result and look at the start. 23 properties she's loaded, Andrew, in the last 10 days. So we talk about stock being tight, but we've had 23 new listings go online in the last 10 days. Now some of them have already sold. But what it means is that there's still a good selection of properties coming up. And although the financial year ends on Wednesday. Wednesday's the 30th of June. We'll all be glad to get this year behind us, or this financial year behind us, even though we're still going through COVID challenges and potential future lockdowns, looking at what's happening in Sydney today. And I've got to say, I love the way that they're managing it up there, locking down sections rather than the whole state. But that's a discussion for another time. But we've got some great stock coming up now, Andrew. Some beautiful listings that are coming up for July. Yeah, do you want to run through a few of them? Next week.
I'm actually really excited to hold this auction next week. Pardon me. 17 to 19 Beatties Road in Hillside 2000. So 2,000 square metre allotment, so perfectly rectangular. So that's going to be a really interesting option because, again, it's a vacant allotment. So homes like us don't come to market very often.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a very interesting one. So again, whoever's going to be there, I think will push themselves to the limit just to secure this property or this home site. Then we've got Giverny Close in Kialba, a fairly new home for the estate. It's only about 12, 13 years old. Our vendor's done a knockdown and rebuild again 12, 13 years ago. And then James Court in Hillside, a beautiful court. James Court's always been one of the favourite courts in Bellevue. So renovated 4-bedroom, and then a completely different type of package, a home site, although it's got plans and permits as well in Normanby Street in Sydenham. So it's got plans and permits for a 4-bedroom townhouse and 2 3-bedrooms as well. So that's moving forward. But then we've got some high-end homes coming up. We've got a property in Caroline Springs, which we had our second open today, had a midweek open during a week, and then our first Saturday open. That's a gorgeous home. What a beautiful home in a great estate in Caroline Springs, walking distance to all the local footy clubs and obviously Caroline Springs precinct as well. That's, we've got a massive, looking at July, it's going to be a very busy July, Jim. So
yeah, it is. I think we've got about 36, 37 options coming up for July. So it's shaping up to be busy again, Andrew. So it's what we want. Buyers have been screaming for choice. We've got the choice. The stock is there. The listings are there. And of course, there's a number of properties coming up this week as well, Andrew. So the good thing is that, people have got school holidays now. So those that have got time with the kids, they've got a little bit more time to come out and look at properties. We know that the days are now starting to get longer by 1 minute every day. So, in the next few weeks, we're going to have an extra 20, 30 minutes of daylight as we start to move forward. And there's some great properties that, of course, will be available for inspection. We're not governed as of yesterday. We're not capped. People don't have to book to come to open homes. They can just come along to our open homes whilst we're still following, we still got to have masks. We still have to use QR codes. We still have to follow one person per 4 square metres. But it means we're not limited as we have been in the last couple of weeks with only 10 people in a property at the one time, Andrew. So that makes it easier for people to come and inspect as well.
Definitely does. In saying that, it's good to see, again, confidence, just touching on listings from vendors as well. So, I think school holiday is going to be a really good, time for people to maybe spend some more time at home, get there probably ready for spring, right? Because, we're booking auctions, pretty much that's it for July, right? We've got a couple, maybe another week or so for auctions in July, then we head into August, and then once we're in September again, right? So, I'll look up my this week, and most of the properties I've seen aren't really coming to the market until late August, September. So for those that are thinking of selling, now is a really good time just to get our opinion. We touched on this last year when we always say, when people call us, they don't call us today and list tomorrow, so to speak. They'll get our opinion in terms of price and presentation and any works to the property, improvements more or less. So now's a really good time to get in touch.
Exactly, mate. So, Andrew, Saturday afternoon.
That's a wrap up.
You're still sitting in the office. It's after 5 o'clock, mate. I think you should go home. And it is a wrap. Folks, stay well. Andrew, congratulations again on great results today, and to the team. And let's enjoy a day off. And we're back on Monday.
Yeah, definitely. Well done, team. Good job this week. And look forward to another strong week next week as well. So, have a good weekend, everyone. Enjoy, stay safe. Speak soon.
See you, everyone.
See you guys. Bye bye.